Tony D and Little Joan with a screenwriter's rant on Alone at Night, a movie with Paris Hilton and a bunch of other actors, including Pamela Anderson. I think it's just basically another version of Scream. Smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Check out my books. Links in the description. Comedy horror in South Jersey. It's the Pineys. Books 1 through 10. Check it out. A cam girl is the main character in this. So who's going to watch this movie? You think cam girls have time to go out at night to the movies? I guess they do. It sounds like a cheap date for a cam girl. So I don't know. She's a cam girl and she has a crazy client who's after her and keeps shutting out her power. Pamela Anderson plays like a deputy or a sheriff, and then this rap guy is the other deputy or sheriff, and she's this cam girl who's being stalked in the middle of nowhere because her ex threw her out, probably because she's a cam girl. Anyhow, it turns into a cat and mouse game almost immediately out in the middle of the woods, and it's also about can you trust reality? What is reality? Paris Hilton is somehow a host in it. I don't know. Does this movie show you why you shouldn't be a cam girl? That would be good. So I'm not really sure what the hell this movie is other than a generic slasher with possible internet angle and a real attention span problem. Pamela Anderson's pretty covered up in this, so I wouldn't expect too much. However, the girl playing the cam girl is not. Oh, she looks so damn familiar, too. Can't think of who she is. There she is, in her wig and in her crazy costume. Let's see, is there any more info? No. Oh, quarantine leads to a night of terror, it says. All right, so this goes back to pandemic times, I suppose. You know, it seems like a pretty generic slasher with a couple of more modern elements to it. First act, she's alone and isolated, right? Her ex throws her out. She ends up in this, I don't know, house in the middle of nowhere. She's a cam girl, and this is how she makes her money. Not a good idea, by the way. Someone's stalking her. Probably even a worse situation for a cam girl. And then in the second act, she's trapped in the house. The power is coming off and on. She's calling the police. They're coming back and forth. Something's going on. And at one point, Pamela Anderson tells her a story about how some murderer would kill all the people around a girl and then leave her for last. I don't know if that's a real story or if it's an apocryphal story within the context of the movie. It's a little hard to tell the way Pamela Anderson delivered the line. It seems like they're trying to have fun with a movie that's kind of dark because, you know, guy's trying to kill everybody. For no other reason other than I assume he's crazy. Oh no, he's crazy, everyone. What happens at the end? I suspect she overcomes and kills the dude, or makes him fall off the cliff, or runs him over with a car, and then he gets back up one more time, and then she kills him, lights him on fire. I don't know. These slasher movies follow a particular formula, right? Lots of jump cuts, lots of scares, lots of fake red herrings. There's a moment where Pamela Anderson puts on a hockey mask and jumps out and scares everybody, even though she's scaring the other deputy and the woman they ostensibly came to answer the call to say, oh God, someone's at my house. Oh, well, we'll find. Ha ha ha! I'm jumping out and scaring you. Yeah, that doesn't seem very realistic. I suspect this script kind of is not really holding it together. Cam girls aren't exactly the best protagonist, I would say. Yeah, I mean, can some people relate to them? Yeah, other cam girls. And don't get me wrong, there are a lot of cam girls, but I don't think they constitute a big enough audience for that to be a universal construct, right? So you would want to pick a more normal girl, I think. Cam girl's kind of a specific thing. It's right on the border of sex work, whatever you think of it. And quite frankly, it could easily turn into that. So it's not the most sympathetic occupation in this case, right? Because you have girls that are essentially teasing men online. Not that it would condone any violent behavior, but you could make an argument that there could be some mitigation there, and I don't think you don't want to be in that situation. But then again, you could say, well, there are lots of grays here, and it's a very nuanced movie. It doesn't appear to be very nuanced. Paris Hilton's in it, playing a host on a TV show. That's not a bad role for her. Seems like a role she could handle, right? It's not going to be a role which requires her to really act. She's being a phony on TV. That's easy for her. The cast isn't bad, but would I see this? Nah. If only to ogle this hot young cam girl, maybe, but that's about it. That's about the level of my interest. Maybe to see Pamela Anderson try to act. Doesn't appear that she'll be in a skimpy costume like this, and Paris Hilton neither. So don't really see the point. I don't really see how this is going to be an amazing take on the slasher movie, but maybe it is. I don't know. Just seems to be, we decided to do a slasher movie, and we spent some money this time because we got Paris Hilton, Pamela Anderson, and it's about cam girls. Now, the fact that Pamela Anderson and Paris Hilton are in it, and it's about a cam girl, maybe there's some metaphors here about being a cam girl, being an it girl, being the sexual object, and promoting yourself that way. Maybe it's got a subtle message about the dangers of that. That would be positive, kinda, for the audience, because I assume the audience here would be teenagers, mostly. This feels like a very right to video on demand situation. And so I'll tell you though, I like the lead a lot. I think she's really probably the best actress out of the entire cast, by far. She seems thoughtful in the moment. The rest of the guys are there, but they don't seem particularly strong in terms of the acting. She even even when she's talking about her cam girl work, she's just like, oh, I got to do this. Apparently, Luis Guzman makes a cameo as one of her customers, which is kind of funny. So she's just kind of like a girl down on her luck, forced to do cam work. I think that makes her more sympathetic. I think you can make that work. But the line was something like, oh, I think I'm just going to do some, get online and make some money. I'm not sure, I'm not sure she's totally sympathetic. I think you could, you could reasonably make an argument that she's sort of forced in. She's got no other choice. So, yeah, that would be a more sympathetic sort of cam girl character. But, first act introduces everybody. Second act, she's being stalked. And by the end of the second act, she's being chased. And the third act, she turns the tables on the slasher and kills him. So, would I watch it? Maybe. Ashley Benson, I guess, is the main character's name. If only to ogle Ashley Benson for a few minutes. I might turn it on and sort of zoom through it. It's not my kind of movie to sit through because, the scenes that aren't about killing or running or screaming, they're going to be boring sort of fill-in stuff, and rarely do I find people in Hollywood can make that dialogue actually meaningful and insightful enough that I'm like, ooh, this is kind of a movie within a movie. It's got many layers. Yeah, it's usually just a bunch of BS and waiting around until the killer shows up again. So, let that be a lesson to you, screenwriters. If you're going to write one of these movies, you got to take it up a notch. There's been so many. They've been making these things at least since the 80s, if not before. Talking about 40, 50 years of this stuff. You got to really, the cam girl angle, that's a little newer, a little more modern. It's probably already been done. So you really got to bring your A game. You're writing a movie like this if you want to separate yourself from the pack. That's all I'm saying. All right, that's it for me, Tony D, and Little Joan. Check us out on Odysee, Bitchute, and Rumble for our more base takes. Hey, have a Merry Christmas. For me, it starts tomorrow. The Italians, we love our Christmas Eve and the 7 fishes. So I'm going to be doing that. It's going to be a good time. I'll be doing videos. I might be a little late with them. Not sure what's going to go on Sunday again. Kind of up in the air. Sometimes I end up home earlier than I thought, and then maybe I'll make some more videos. Sometimes not. We'll see. At the very least, if I don't do one on Sunday, I'll probably do a live stream on Monday. And we'll see you on Christmas Eve.